Shea Couleé retracts allegations. And finally, we're going to talk about a bit of recent tea involving Shea Couleé officially retracting some previous allegations that she had made against an events and management company. First, I'm going to go over the background of the original situation and explain what the allegations were about, because that is relevant to the response that Shea recently posted. So, back in 2019, Shea posted an Instagram story where she called out someone called Anthony Di Fiore, which is the owner and director of Neverland Parties, which is an events company that specialises in LGBT-focused events and parties, and it also looks like they have another part of their business, which is a talent agency that signs queens and represents them. In the Instagram post, Shea said that Anthony/the company owed her $12,000 in back payments and that he had ignored all of her emails, calls and texts. Shea also said that she has evidence that payments were sent and deposited, but then Anthony claimed he didn't know where the payments were. There were then lots of other posts about the situation, but I'd first like to credit the Reddit user Miss Danielle Loves, who posted a very comprehensive timeline in the RPDR drama subreddit of all of the events that happened with links to all of the screenshots, and I found this while I was researching for this video, so thank you for that because it was actually really useful, and I'll link to the Reddit post in the description if you want to check it out in full. So, Shea had posted many Instagram stories calling Anthony and Neverland Parties out. I won't go through all of them because there are so many, but I'll just summarise the most important points. So, Shea said that she had been, quote, bamboozled into hiring Neverland Party DragCon booth services for DragCon one year, but when they showed up to DragCon, they didn't have a carpet, a backdrop, lighting, or merch. Shea also said a few other queens had also had the same issue, such as Kim Chi, The Vixen, Monet Exchange, Mo Hart, and Ms. Cracker. Shea then told the backstory of what happened across a series of many Instagram stories. It's a bit complicated, so this is just a simplification. But it seems what happened was a former employee of Neverland contacted Shea to say the company had posted about an event with Shea, but Shea was already booked that day for something else. Shea posted screenshots of texts that she had sent to Anthony, who is the owner of the company, where she asked him to reschedule this event. But later, Shea found out that Anthony had allegedly signed contracts for Shea and 4 other girls without their approval, and also received the deposits, and the queens never received these deposits. Anthony then apparently lied multiple times in messages to the event promoter to, quote, cover up his misdealings. One of the other queens who also was involved was Pearl from season 7, who was also on Neverland's roster, and Shea made Pearl aware of what was going on in this situation. Anthony also allegedly lied multiple other times about what was happening, and Shea said she was now missing over $10,000. Several other queens also corroborated Shea's story, such as Kim Chi, who said she had stayed silent so far despite the, quote, lack of professionalism and just plain bull bleep. Kim Chi also said that she and Naomi Smalls were supposed to have their own websites, presumably this was part of Neverland's services, but apparently those URLs now just led to fan pages. Kim then said that she and Naomi had left the agency, but the agency was holding these URLs, quote, hostage for $20,000. And Kim Chi also said never purchase anything from Neverland. The Vixen also posted an Instagram story saying that she had been represented by Neverland management, but she had not been paid by Anthony because he was dealing with a lawsuit and he was apparently using the Vixen's money to pay his debts. Apparently, the company also deducted money from the Vixen's earnings to pay for health insurance, but the health insurance had been cancelled later on without the Vixen's knowledge. Multiple other queens, such as Sasha Velour, Pheromone and Blair St. Clair, also spoke out against Neverland, and as I said, bear in mind this all happened in around 2019. And I'm not sure what happened in the meantime after all of these queens called out Neverland. However, during my research for this video, I found an article by Queerty.com from November 2019, which said that Shea, Pearl, the Vixen, Kim Chi, as well as a few other people had been slapped with a $5 million slander lawsuit regarding this situation. In the article, it said, quote, "The suit, filed by a Chicago court, alleges that the defendants made false claims about the plaintiff, a management company called Neverland Events and Artist Management, a company that specializes in repping LGBTQ entertainers, which is queer-owned. The group of queens claim they were never paid for their performance gigs with Neverland and took their anger to social media to vent." I tried to see if I could find any updates regarding this lawsuit, but I couldn't really find anything. However, in a post on the RPDR drama subreddit from June 2023, someone posted asking whatever happened to this lawsuit. In the comments, someone posted the case number of this lawsuit and said that you can look up the public filings. I did try and use the link, but it didn't seem to work for me. Someone else in the comments said that the Vixen allegedly was ordered to complete a deposition but failed to do so, and counterclaims had been filed, which means that at least one defendant, which may be Shea, was suing Neverland in return. A few other people posted things in the comments, saying things like a jury had been requested, but as I said, these are just comments on Reddit, and I'm no legal expert in any way, so I can't verify if any of this is true or not, but I just thought this was potentially interesting, which is why I'm mentioning it, but please keep in mind that this may or may not be accurate. It looks like that was all I could find about the legal case, so I'm not sure what happened about it since then. However, recently, Shea posted about the situation on social media, which led to a lot of speculation from people who wondered if Shea's recent post may have been as a result of the lawsuit. So, on the 1st of August 2025, Shea posted a grid post on Instagram with several text posts, and I'll read the statement out in full. The statement said, "In May 2019, I got into a business dispute with my then manager, Anthony Di Fiore, and his business, Neverland Events and Artist Management Corp. At that time, I made a number of serious allegations of misconduct, theft, mismanagement, and dishonesty against both Anthony and Neverland. I further asserted that Anthony and Neverland had engaged in similar misconduct with other queer artists. I also encouraged my many followers to boycott Neverland events and merchandise and to ostracize Anthony from the gay community. The allegations I made at that time were exaggerated to place both Anthony and Neverland in the worst possible light and were, in most cases, simply untrue. Anthony and Neverland acted honestly and with integrity during the many years I worked with them between 2013 and May 2019 when my statements were posted. I deeply regret my actions. I am also aware that my actions cause Anthony much pain and embarrassment, including threats of violence against him and Neverland and loss of friends and his business. For this, I am deeply sorry. Anthony and I have now resolved our differences, and I hope all of you will accept him back into the LGBTQ community going forward. He deserves it." I saw Shea's post very soon after she posted it on Instagram, and I noticed that lots of people were commenting, saying things like this statement felt like it was court-ordered and that Shea was being forced to say this. However, I forgot to take screenshots of this, and shortly after Shea had posted on Instagram, she then disabled the comments on the post. Later on, I noticed that on Reddit, people had posted screenshots of some subsequent posts that Shea had made, which had since been deleted, although I didn't see these at the time, so I can't verify this. In one of the posts, Shea posted the famous photo of actress Nicole Kidman, which was apparently taken after she divorced Tom Cruise. However, on a side note, Nicole has since said that this was not true and this was actually a photo from a movie. Shea also posted the famous meme with Nina Bonina Brown, which said, "Well, it's over." And these posts by Shea further fueled rumours that Shea had been ordered by the court to post the retraction statement. I also saw a screenshot of a comment that someone had posted on Shea's comment before she disabled comments, and it said, "If this is all BS, in your next post, wear something yellow." Shea apparently later posted this selfie where she was wearing yellow, which again sparked even more chatter that Shea was being forced to say these things. Candy Muse even apparently tweeted at the time saying, "Shea is sending me on Instagram," but it looks like Candy later deleted this tweet. Shea later responded to these rumours in an Instagram story, and she said, "Earlier today, someone commented on Instagram that I should wear yellow if the statements I posted and pinned to my Instagram account in the early morning hours today about Anthony Di Fiore and Neverland were, quote, all BS. Later I posted myself wearing multiple colours, including the colour yellow. Please do not speculate further. My statements in my pinned Instagram post about Anthony Di Fiore and Neverland are 100% accurate. No one forced me to make them. I will not be commenting about my post today going forward. Please believe me, I meant what I said in my pinned Instagram post this morning about Anthony and Neverland." As of right now, I don't believe Shea has talked about this any further, so that seems to be the end of the situation, so we'll have to wait and see if any further information comes out about this in the future.